I guess life isn't so tough when I'm cooking. And it's about to get a whole lot easier because I'm making a steak sandwich. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the best out of this world steak sandwich, and for that we are using Bavette flank steak or an onglet. These are absolutely incredible, less than half the price of the fillet but double the flavour. They're not available in supermarkets though, so really you gotta go and see your butcher if you want to get your hands on these. Really we want to steer past the whole going to the supermarket, getting that rump steak, ribeye or the sirloin. We want to go with some old butchery techniques, some old cuts if you like. So I do really recommend this. Go and see your butcher. First up is the Bavette. As ever, get the meat out of the fridge an hour beforehand. Let it come to room temperature before you cook it. Otherwise, it's just gonna toughen up and go horrible. So quite liberally salt the beef. And steak loves pepper, so don't be shy with the amount of pepper that you're putting onto that meat. And the splash of olive oil. Now give this a good rub. And I'm just gonna lay that steak onto the griddle pan. I've got the pan on a medium-high heat. We want to let that caramelization happen over time. So I'm looking to cook this around 4 minutes on each side. And I think this specific cut of beef really benefits from being cooked medium. If you cook it medium rare or rare, it's just going to be very chewy. So while we're getting a really nice sear on that steak, I'm gonna start with the vegetables. So I've got one red onion here, which I'm gonna slice into rounds. Now we'll get these onto the griddle, and we wanna kind of caramelize them. So I'm gonna sprinkle a tiny bit of brown sugar on them, as well as some sherry vinegar. That sugar and the sherry vinegar is going to give us those chutney flavors and also help caramelize the onions. Next, I've got a portobello mushroom here, which I'm just going to roughly slice, and we'll also get these onto the griddle pan as well. And next we got some cherry tomatoes in a bowl, which I'm just going to drizzle with a bit of an olive oil and just a tiny bit of salt and pepper. Now just give it a good toss, and also get these onto your griddle pan. Lastly, I have one chili for a bit of a spice. So I'm just going to slice this as well and get it onto the griddle pan with the seeds in. It's all flavour. Now back to that steak, and it's coming along really nicely. So all I'm going to do now is just brush this with a bit of a Dijon mustard on each side for the final minute, and this is going to give us a really nice flavour and a lovely crust on the outside, as well as a hint of mustard in the finished sandwich. Now the choice for a lovely steak sandwich has to be ciabatta. Look at the beautiful air pockets in the breadcrumb. Just give it a cut down the middle And as you can see, this is full of air, so light and airy. So I'm just going to drizzle it with a bit of olive oil just onto the pan to toast it a bit. So the steak is now ready, and I'm just going to let it rest. Generally, you want to rest your steak for the same amount of time you cook it. I think it's fair to say the vegetables are pretty much ready as well. So this bread is nicely toasted as well. And it's now time to build that sandwich. This bit cannot come quick enough. So all I'm gonna do is just get a bit of mayonnaise onto this ciabatta. And now it's time to carve that steak. Nice thin slices. Now this end bit is the cook's treat. You do the hard work, you put in the effort, you get the reward. It's incredible. Absolutely gorgeous. Onions onto the bread. Then a few slices of that mushroom. And a couple of bits of that pepper. Give the tomatoes a bit of a crush with a fork. Get a few of them onto the bread. With all the seeds and everything, that is all just flavour. Now with a few slices of that bavette. This is incredible. The choice of salad, you can do watercress. I've got some lettuce here. So a bit of lettuce onto that meat. Bend the lid on and give it a nice little press down. There we have it, steak sandwich can now be devoured. And before I go and do just that, I just wanted to say thank you for making it this far into the video. Make sure you give the video a like if you liked it, and also give the channel a sub if you're new here, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Until then, look after yourselves and remember the secret ingredient is love. This thing here is just begging to be devoured. So good and a little bit messy, exactly how it should be.